turn it all the way. Oh, it works hard, man. Crooked Arm, how you feeling? Let me hear you say yeah. Yeah! Oh, baby! Welcome to Jive in the Round. I think this is the 4th installment of our talk show here, and I'm very excited that y'all decided to come tonight because this guy's got a lot to say. You might want to come back and hear what he's got to say. This is Brandon Reisdorf. He's one hell of a guy. Let's hear it for him. Brandon, you've been around the block and back again, and you're not even that, what are you, like 22 years old or something like that? Look at that smile. Oh man, so Brandon and I have known each other now for about a couple years, a handful of years. I met him on the internet during COVID.
I actually met you about probably 8 years before that.
When I was drinking and I don't remember anything. Yeah, I met a lot of people back then, I think. But I want to start off on, I've been aching to hear Brandon sing a song, but is there something you've been thinking about today that you want to sing?
Nothing in particular.
Sing something make me feel good. Tell me why you're singing it.
Oh man, you're throwing me on the spot here.
Make me feel good.
I've been writing a lot of songs that don't make you feel so good, Pete. But
okay. No. Those songs make me feel good too.
All right, I'll do the new one. I'll do the brand new one.
All right. What's it called?
Life's Not Fair.
Damn right.
Yeah. This is it's my new propaganda song. Another working week behind us, making money for the bourgeoisie. Get back home just in time to collapse into the ads on my telephone screen. It's hard enough keeping up with the rich while they blast off for dinner on Mars. T-minus my whole savings account just to keep my life from falling apart. Living a dystopian nightmare while they're dreaming the American dream. Everyone will tell you that life's not fair, but I don't think that's what they mean. I wrote this song a week ago, so I'm still learning the lyrics. I'm gonna look at the lyrics on this. This is a brand new song, sorry. I promise I practiced these today too.
Dude, with the amount of lyrics that you cram into these songs,
Too many. All right.
You send me paragraph ideas.
All right, we'll try this again and I'll actually get it through this time. All right. I'll skip that first verse. You heard that one.
We take two. That's what we're just driving around.
Living a dystopian nightmare while they're dreaming the American dream. Everyone will tell you that life's not fair, but I don't think that's what they mean. Jailhouse the homeless, they swore to protect while they pump another thin blue line. High cost of living ain't an easy bet when you're losing your house and your mind. And it makes me sick. Is there a doctor here? Is it Visa or a MasterCard? Or a 30-year loan for surgery that insurance didn't think was required? Hey, it's alright, you can work for me. Just give me every last minute you got. These are too many words, man. Every last minute you got. Full-time commute and a 12-hour shift. We'll give it half the rent and 2 weeks off. And then we'll send the other half all over the world in the belly of a fighter jet. To bomb another oyster and clutch our pearls, cause nobody's stopping us yet. We're living a dystopian nightmare while they're dreaming the American dream. Everyone will tell you that life's not fair, but I don't think that's what they mean. Rush hour drag, I was inhaling the fumes when my boss pinged me, got a sec. Another big meeting in the big boys room, and he was asking me for the deck. Down with the truckers and the kicker is he wants it done in the next 45. He gets the bonus if I haul his weight, so I'm looking for a guest Wi-Fi. 15 miles, 15 lanes, and a mile to go to some fast food coffee shop. $15 going once, twice, sold to burn coffee in a parking lot. I fired 15 slides full of bullet points and buzzwords to tickle their ears. He said it looks great, but the meeting's off. We're gonna pivot to some shots and beers. Cause we're living a dystopian nightmare. I feel like screaming the American scream. Well, everyone will tell you that life's not fair, but I don't think that's what they mean. You're never gonna be the next billionaire, and they're always gonna tell you what to do. Stuck in the ranks of the working class, and their banks full of work from you. So if your tongue is out flicking for a boot to lick, and you can't find the conscience to care, you probably think it's never gonna come for you, but I regret to say it's already there. Cause we live in a dystopian nightmare, dreaming the American dream. But everyone will tell you that life's not fair, but I don't think that's what they mean. I mean, everyone will tell you that life's not fair, but I don't think that's what they mean. Oh, I get the newest one out of the way early.
Good move. That's a brand new song, huh?
That's a week old. Yeah, I'm still learning it, so thanks for your patience on that one.
I think what you had memorized was damn impressive anyway.
I accidentally, when I write songs, I tend to get a little wordy with them, and then I get to the point where I have to play them. And you gotta memorize like a 3 pages of lyrics. It's a whole different problem.
So Brandon is a multi-instrumentalist, and I saw him play quite a handful of times before I ever saw him play a guitar. The way he plays, he's one of those dudes that can follow anybody and play anything like it's the first time, or like he's played it a million times, but it's always the first time he's played it. And so I played with him maybe about 2 months before we had to take a long drive together to get to a show, and then I finally asked him, I said, Brandon, what did you used to do? Like, how did you become like this? Did you go to college for something? So tell him what you went to college for.
Yeah, I did a music degree in classical music theory and composition, and a little philosophy in there also. So I found out after the fact I was really just making my own songwriter's degree when you combine the music composition and philosophy. So they didn't have one of those at the time.
I can find a loophole, but yeah. So I couldn't believe it. What you had to do for college was to write the piece. What is it called? The orchestral composition.
Yeah. I was doing string quartets and orchestra pieces and wind ensemble, whatever, anything they would play, you know.
And you hear. So how did you come to find out that was something that you could do easily?
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can do it easily, but no, I just liked it a lot. I studied theory all in middle school. I think I had a really influential music teacher, choir teacher in middle school, who gave me her college music theory textbook in 7th grade, and I read that whole thing.
Did she give it to you because of a conversation or something?
Yeah, I was in choir, and I was interested in music theory. And for anybody who's not a musician, music theory is kind of like the math side of music, and just like how the chords work together, and how the melody notes work together, and harmony and rhythm, and all that stuff. So I was really into it. I read I kind of ate that book up as a 7th grader, which was a little weird in hindsight, because then I got that same college textbook when I went to college for music, and I was like, well, I read this when I was 12.
Yeah, 12 is like 7th grade?
Something like that, yeah.
So you were doing it ever since then, huh? And then when did you first start? So what's the process of being able to hear stuff in your head and knowing it's for a certain instrument that you might not even play? Like you would write a part for an oboe?
Oh, yeah.
So do you just know the range that the oboe plays in, and then you hear that?
Yeah, you definitely learn the ranges. You learn kind of the techniques for the instruments. You talk to a lot of players that play those instruments. Also, I would send my parts to like an oboe player, for example, and be like, hey, does this seem like something an oboe player would play? But like when you're writing it, I think of it nowadays. I do more. I don't do that so much anymore. Now I just write songs and I work in studios and stuff like that. So, but I think of it kind of like when you're mixing. When you're mixing a track in a studio, and you want the guitar to sound a little brighter, or you want the bass is sounding a little heavy, and you want to lighten it up a little bit. Like the orchestra kind of works a lot like that. So an oboe is like real bright sounding, and so it's going to cut through real high, like like if you wanted to turn up the treble on a guitar, for example. And then you have like a clarinet, which is another wind instrument that sounds a lot more mellow and would be like rolling off those highs. So it's kind of like mixing in a lot of ways, only you're doing it with an orchestra in real time instead of with a microphone.
Dude, so and I try to all relate this back to writing a song, which you do in the first place, just writing the lyrics and the chords. Do you just hear it in your head? Any other parts? I'm still hyped. So I've been locked in on this, the fact that you could write a whole orchestra song. Ever since we had that conversation in the car, I talk about it all the time and tell everybody that it blows me away.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I always I did only composition for a long time, and I never did any kind of improvised music. I didn't really get into improvised music until I started listening to bluegrass in college, and I'm a fiddle player, so I started playing more bluegrass and all that. And I kind of had I'll answer your question from the other side, which is getting into the improvising, right? So for me, getting into improvising was like doing composition, which is what I was familiar with, but I was doing it in real time, you know, spontaneous composition in real time, right? So you're just making up a melody, making up a song, whatever in some cases, on the fly. So the composition process is a lot like improvising, which I know you do too. It's a lot like improvising, only you have time to go back and edit it and change it, and you know you're not stuck with whatever comes out the first time. You can go find another melody, and they do. You know, I'm young enough that they. I'm not actually 22. I don't know what he's talking about. We're closer in age.
He looks
than
good though, right?
My doctor says I'm old for my age.
Well, late bloomer.
But yeah, no. You know, with improvising, you're just doing it in real time. But with the composition, you have time to edit. And then when I was coming up writing music, they have a lot of good software for that kind of stuff. So I use notation software when I compose that kind of music, and it kind of has MIDI-based playback engines, and you can hear like a mock-up of the composition while you're writing it, and then I can be like, oh, something's wrong with the viola part there, you know, and then go back. So you don't have to hear it all. And even younger than that, I started composing like on sheet music in probably like freshman or sophomore year of high school.
Well, when did it transfer to digital?
No, it was digital already. I had a computer.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, the internet came out like when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. Because I was picturing you pacing around like chain smoking cigarettes, like hearing
When I was
stuff
like
in your
11.
head.
Yeah, no. I mean, I definitely did some of that. But no, I was fortunate to have you still need to kind of envision things to kind of as part of the creative process, but you do have a little bit of a feedback loop. It's kind of like if you're a painter, you know, you don't have to picture the whole painting when you're painting. You can kind of throw some paint on the canvas, and then you can see what it looks like, and you're like, I don't know if I like where that is, and then you can paint over it and adjust it. It's not like you have to picture the whole thing at one time, but you do still have to kind of...
You don't have to throw the whole canvas away.
Yeah, you can just paint over it.
Wasted a lot of money, getting real frustrated.
You are a perfectionist, so I could see that being challenging for you, for sure.
So when you were going back, and when's the first time you originally composed music for like class and stuff like that? Did you write songs for yourself before then?
I did do a little bit of composing in high school. Like I would throw stuff together and have the choir sing it. I remember. It's funny, this popped in my mind right now, but I remember doing a text setting of, was it Fuzzy Wuzzy Was a Bear, the poem?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote like a really, really sad choral arrangement of that poem, and I somehow talked my high school choir teacher to let us sing that at a concert, which was kind of funny. It was a really sarcastic, very dramatic, very minor, sad sounding text setting. No, I don't remember how it goes at all. It was definitely just a joke.
I think you remember the first chord. You keep
No. That's just no. No, it was just kind of funny. But I was doing stuff like that, and then I would write stuff for like a solo piano or for violin. And then I did I think when I really got hooked on it, I went to Northwestern University for like a high school program to study composition for 5 weeks in the summer. I think it was before my senior year of high school. So I was up there studying with the college professors and got to kind of do composition lessons every day. Got to do a bunch of composition up at Northwestern, and then from there it was kind of like, all right, I think this is what I want to do.
What's the first song you wrote on the guitar that was?
That's actually the chord I was playing here, so I'll do
that song?
Do you know what it is or no?
No.
You don't know?
I'm not.
All right. Yeah, so I'm a little different of a songwriter in the sense that I wrote a lot of music before I ever actually wrote a song. But this song is the first song I ever wrote. I was in my 20s, and I was working at a corporate job at the time. It was my first business trip that I ever went on, and they flew me out to San Francisco, and it was the first time I realized how drunk everybody gets at work. And so I was blown away by that, just watching all these middle managers and executives getting completely wasted. There was one guy who was kind of like the brains of the operation. He'd been working there for 25 years. I think he passed out in the bathroom of the suite. And I was just like, what is going on here? And they asked me to run to the liquor store and buy all the booze, and I went there with the CFO at the time and couldn't believe how much booze. I'd never seen anybody buy that much alcohol at one time, so I ended up writing this song on the airplane on the way home, just kind of reeling from the experience. But it's called Business Drunk, so I'll play that one for you. This one I do know the words for, hopefully. All the details are true. Checked into my room after a 4-hour flight. It's been a long day, but I guess the weather's alright. Just before 5, head to the company suite. Wearing nicest tie, party like it's Wall Street. They asked me to run to the liquor store. Just another receipt for the expense report. Get whatever I want, don't have to ask me twice. $1,000 of booze, a few bags of ice. Well, 'cause tonight we're getting business drunk. 100 bottles in this trunk. We're getting paid for this, man. Who'd have thought that tonight we could get business drunk? The CFO is mixing my drink. I'm starting to wonder what my bosses will think. 7 o'clock, we're already flying. Get whatever you want, the company's buying. Well, 'cause tonight we're getting business drunk. Don't worry, all the costs are sunk. That's an accounting joke. We're getting paid for this, man. Who'd have thought that tonight we could get business drunk? And now they're telling us to shut it down. But tomorrow we'll be out of town. We don't even care, 'cause tonight we're getting business drunk. I do a business solo here. Top shelf booze, we don't wanna look cheap. It's been a good year and corporate pockets are deep. Around 2 a.m. nobody's gone to sleep. We do whatever we want, because tonight we're getting business drunk. 100 bottles in this trunk. We're getting paid for this, man. Who'd have thought that tonight we could get business drunk? And now they're telling us to shut it down. But tomorrow we'll be out of town. In the morning we'll be getting up. But tonight we're getting business drunk. Yeah, we're just getting rich guys, suit and tie, man. Where am I? Business drunk. I don't feel so good.
That was the first thing that you wrote. Really?
That's my first song, I think, yeah.
Consider a song?
Yeah.
What year was that you put in?
2015?
Really?
Yeah.
So composing
14.
all those years, it was the first time you
Maybe
sat
2014.
down and did something like
Yeah.
that. What was it that made you? Well, because you were already into a groove of how you.
I was
do
playing.
music.
I was playing in bands and stuff by then, so I kind of switched to more like I was playing a lot of folk music. I got really into John Prine. That song sounds nothing like John Prine, but I got really into kind of lyrics, and I've always really been into lyrics. I was a big Death Cab for Cutie fan, and
Yeah.
Radiohead back in the day, and a lot of those. Green Day, going way back, I was into a lot. Like, there's good songs in there, you know what I mean? So I was always an appreciator of good songs, I would say.
Yeah.
And I never felt like I could do it. I was kind of fascinated by it as a kid. Like, how do these people write something that's so, coherent and good and kind of like fits,
Did you feel like that as you were already composing other kinds of music? Did that music still blow you away?
Yeah, because I was like, I felt
that?
like, okay, there's a million possibilities when you're writing instrumental music. You can kind of go any direction you want.
Okay.
You can express a lot of different feelings with instrumental music, but it's never really specific. And when you put lyrics to it, it can be a lot more specific. And I always felt like I'd sketch like lyrics, like before I wrote a song, I'd sketch some lyrics, and I'm like, man, these just sound dumb. Or like,
there's more real pressure, like pressing.
Yeah, like people can actually hear what you're saying, like in English when you write a lyric. When you're writing for like an orchestra, it's like I can tell them I'm saying whatever I want to say. They're not gonna know.
Yeah, they say they don't.
Yeah, so you kind of hide. You can hide behind the instrumental music a little bit, which and that's not a dig on instrumental music. There's a lot of really great instrumental music out there, and it's its own type of communication. But yeah, I was always kind of like. Envious of anybody who could write really good lyrics. And I will say, I have a buddy. You haven't met my buddy yet, Mark Casey. He's a really great songwriter, and I met him shortly after I graduated college, and started playing fiddle with him in a little project that he was getting going called Hotel 1117. And I just was blown away. He's about 10 years older than me, and I was just blown away by this guy's songs. Should get him out here one time. He's got great songs.
Hotel what?
It was Hotel 1117. It was just named after an address that he was living at. But yeah, I got a lot of respect for songwriting through that process, just kind of like, because I was playing fiddle and I was learning the genre and I was learning his songs, and he has so many good songs. He's one of those guys he's forgotten more songs than he can remember probably.
That he wrote?
Yeah, that he wrote. He would write a song, he wouldn't write it down or record it anywhere, and then he'd get it out of his system and he'd move on, and then nobody would ever hear that song again.
Those people in there, it blows you away.
But yeah, that was definitely an inspiration too, just hearing all his tunes and kind of like seeing the different possibilities. And he'd been writing for a long time, so I kind of got a window into that world, and I was like, I think I could pull off some of that too.
Okay, so that's what kind of made you think about adding words to something.
One of the things. I mean, like I said, I've always respected a good lyricist.
I'm just trying to figure out what pushed you over the edge to were you on a plane?
For that one, I was on a plane, and I was playing in a pop country band at the time, like a cover band. But I was really interested in original music, and you learn quickly that when you're playing pop country cover bands, you're not going to be playing any original music at any gigs, because that's not what the people want. But I was like kind of trying to think of like, okay, we could probably write a song that we could, that could be good. We never did anything with it, with the song, but I kind of wrote that and with that in mind of like, maybe we could play this in the band,
Killer.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it just kind of, did you have the idea for it before you got on the plane, and then it came together?
No, I got the idea for it when we put 100 bottles of booze in the trunk. And then I was like, I had the idea for business drunk on. I remember on the plane I was sitting there, I was like, I just had the thought like, business drunk. And like I wanted to write a song where I could say it like that, we'd be business drunk.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing, man.
And then it all came together on the flight, you wrote
I didn't have a guitar with me, but I wrote all the lyrics,
Yeah, but you did it like, that's a classic way, I think.
Yeah, and then I remember I went home and I did a demo of it. I was like, I think I like that progression, I was like, that kind of has a vibe to it. And then I sent the demo to my buddy, Mark. And he like called me like 2.5 minutes, like he called me like 3 minutes later, like one business drunk voice memo later. And he's like, dude, this song is insane. Like it's like, so that gave me a big confidence boost too. That somebody I respected a lot as a songwriter was like, hey, this is some serious songwriting. And I was like, cool.
Dude, yeah. And so then that was about 2017 or something like that, or 2015 when you wrote it.
Maybe 2014 or 15, yeah.
Okay. And then throughout you didn't really write anything else, or did you write or you kept playing with people?
I kept playing, but I think I don't know if it's the second song or third song I wrote was probably Luke.
Okay, so that's a song I really like, because you put together. He's got an EP called "Political Songs for Political People." You can find it on the internet. I think he probably will have a copy here. You got a copy?
Oh yeah, I didn't bring it in. I'll grab something.
He's got a copy. He'll get to you. And it's got some real heavy hitters on there, and that's what really turned me on to your songs. Was a couple of those that I started singing. Do you want to sing, Luke? You want to tell? So it's called Luke.
Luke chapter 23, yeah. What's funny is that this is probably, this was an early song for me. I was really getting into John Prine at the time. But I just posted this song last week I've been kind of like experimenting with the TikTok world, and I just posted this song and had it go a little viral last week, which is about 10 years after I wrote the song, so that was reassuring. I think I got it. Last I checked, we were at 45,000 hits on this one, so we're doing all right. And a lot of angry comments, which is always a really good sign,
That's why I liked playing your songs now.
Yeah.
Brings them out of the woodwork.
I told Pete he can play my songs as long as he lets me know how many people walk out of the show, you know? So we're keeping count tonight. This one's called Luke chapter 23. They want to start another war, I heard it on the news. A preacher man, Republican, says he knows what to do. And he's wondering if we're living like the Bible tells us to. So I got around to thinking that it's got me feeling blue. Send your tired, sick, and poor thoughts and prayers or two. Love thy neighbor as thyself, long as he looks like you. Desperately clinging on to what they hold so true. But they hear not what they speak, and they know not what they do. Ah, hallelujah, they'll be singing. Ah, blinded by the light. And I can't hear the church bells ringing. But if you look inside, you'll find that something isn't right. They'll stop to help the hungry beggar find his own bootstraps. They'll give up half a Saturday just to melt the old ice caps. By 9 o'clock on Sunday, they'll be smiling in a pew. For they hear not what they speak, O Lord, and they know not what they do. Ah, hallelujah, they'll be singing. Ah, blinded by the light. And I can't hear the church bells ringing. But if you look inside, you'll find that something isn't right. Forgive me if I'm questioning some holy life you lead. Least you can tell I'll go to hell for failing to believe. I hope if there's a God above, he can forgive you too. For you hear not what you speak, my friend, and you know not what you do. Ah, hallelujah, they'll be singing. Ah, blinded by the light. And all these bells keep ding-a-linging. But if you look inside, you'll find that something isn't right. Ah, the Lord is gonna save us. Ah, we're basking in the truth. But these sinners keep on sinning. For we hear not what we speak, my friends, and we know not what we do. What we're sowing we will reap, my friends, cause we know not what we do. No, we don't practice what we preach, my friends, and I don't know what to do. I use that song as a litmus test at shows to find out how many of my other songs I can play.
So big jump from the last song.
It was a big jump in society at the time too, so I was getting a little frustrated.
Is that what? Yeah. So when did you start writing that? Like that was kind of.
It was right around the golden. It was right around the golden escalator. I feel like. Shortly after that. Yeah.
And so have you always just been active in like in current events and stuff in college?
I like philosophy. I like philosophy. You know, I took a lot of ethics classes. So I just it's not so much, you know, for that song it wasn't so much any specific thing that was going on. It was more the a perception of hypocrisy that I was seeing, where people were, people say one thing and do a different thing.
Yeah. Yep. Especially up there, it's very, very apparent. They're not doing what they say, huh? Yeah, that's why I enjoy singing that one so much. So you wrote. You said that was about the third song you wrote. What was the second song you wrote?
I think it's hard to. I think it was maybe this tune called "Broken Records," and these are old songs. I can do that one.
I hope you didn't prepare.
Do you know that one? No, I know this one. Do you know?
Yeah,
have you heard that?
You've played it. Yeah.
Broken Record.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do know this.
Well, I think I know it.
So this was the first song that I ever published anywhere. Like I posted a YouTube video, and that was kind of a breakthrough for me, because there's some vulnerability in songwriting, especially when you haven't done it before. I had this quote that stuck with me at that time, which was that, if you ever want to be a songwriter, you have to decide that you're a songwriter before you write your song. You're not gonna write songs and then say, okay, I'm a songwriter now. If you want to write a song, you gotta already be a songwriter, and then you gotta write the song.
I like that.
So you gotta kind of frame it in your head like, I'm a songwriter, and so I had to kind of convince myself I was a songwriter, and then that was when Business Drunk came out, and then this song, Broken Records, came out, and Business Drunk I still have not released. That song's about 10 years old. I still haven't released it. And that one I haven't released because I feel like it's a hit. I feel like it could be a hit song, but that's paralyzing in a way because you're like, God, if I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it right, you know? But now I feel like I have the means to do it right, which is a good thing. You know, if I would have recorded that 10 years ago, maybe it would have been all right. But it'll be better now.
Yeah,
now that I'm not drinking. But this one's called Broken Records, and this was the first YouTube video or Facebook video I posted, and I felt pretty good after that too because it resonated with people, and there was some difficult stuff going on at the time. I think I posted it around the time of there was like a school shooting or something, so it was pretty heavy. Everybody was feeling pretty down, and then this song kind of came out quickly. All of these first songs came out real fast, which is always a good sign. I know you do the same thing. You know, you write a song and it kind of pours out on the page, and you don't even edit it. You know, so this was one of those songs, and I think I posted a video of it like within a couple of days of writing the song, and I was kind of like, you know, all right, here it goes. You know, I gotta get this out in the world, and then it landed with some people. So this one's called Broken Records. They tell us history repeats itself like broken records at a corner second store. Well, if it does, how could we even tell? 'Cause I think I've heard this one before. I always seem to make the same mistakes. I'm always coming up behind. And there are days I find the strength it takes, and there are days I lose my mind. The world is burning and I'm running out of chances. I gotta stay and fight or run. You're asking questions and I just don't have the answers. But how could anybody? How could anyone? I meant to say some things I never said. I've said some things I didn't mean. Tried my best at times, but in the end I've had to justify the means. Sometimes I talk myself in circles. Sometimes I talk myself to sleep. But on the days that I get out of bed, I find that I can hardly speak. The world is burning and I'm running out of chances. I gotta stay and fight or run. You're asking questions and I just don't have the answers. But how could anybody? Or how could anyone? Maybe someday soon we'll understand. But I don't like to knock on wood. And I'm sure that I could be a better man. But when's the last time getting better's done us any good? Well, they tell us history repeats itself. Broken records at the corner second store. Well,
But if it does, how could we even tell? 'Cause I think I've heard this one before. And it goes, the world is burning and I'm running out of chances. I gotta stay and fight or run. You're asking questions and I just don't have the answers. But how could anybody? How could anyone? The world is burning and we're out of second chances. It's time to join the fight or run. And we'll learn a lesson if we can't find something to stand for. But how could anybody? How could anyone?
Thanks.
Is that on an album?
No.
You didn't. That's not on the.
I only have the one record and the one single, and
Yeah.
so I'm real behind. I got about 38 songs that I've not recorded yet, so
Well,
I had a job.
I know, but I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
one.
no, I gotta get them. I'm working on them. Got a few ready.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that. Well, and you're gonna share a bunch more with us, I hope. But that song, man, it's very nice. You sang in chorus,
Yeah, yeah.
so back to
I
when you
wore
were.
tights
Yeah, as you should.
and madrigals.
Did you do some plays?
Yeah, musicals. Yeah, I was Daddy Warbucks one time.
Really?
Is that his name? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Let's see. I did 42nd Street. I did Annie. I did the
Yeah.
Pirates of Penzance.
Okay, because you got the projection. You didn't take any vocal lessons? You
I
just,
did. No, I did opera in college. Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't just guess that. There, see? You see what I'm talking about? So,
Now, like.
what a great guy.
Now, they won't like those opera kids. They don't like how I sing nowadays. You know, I had to unlearn everything I learned to be a folk singer.
So what kind of, do you learn projection? Is that a big
Yeah.
opera thing?
Yeah.
Can you do an opera note? Like back
I'll
from
put some in a song.
Yeah? You can't just do it, not on the spot, but at some point in the next an hour and 15 minutes, can you just do I'll fake it and tell you what I think it's going to sound like, if that'll get you to do it.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll think about it.
Okay,
I got a brand to maintain here, Pete.
well, this is the first time you've told me about this, so you got to share things with me, or not in front of,
I might be able to find a video of it somewhere.
That's good too. You can give us the video. We'll share the video with everybody.
That's funny.
But so let's see. I'm trying to dig all the stuff out of you that you didn't plan on telling me.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's what I was worried about. That's why I got my newest song out of the way that I don't know the words from right away, so you couldn't pick that one.
yeah, that was great, man. So the journey of putting together the album, political songs for political people, were those just a bunch of songs that you already had, or did you decide you wanted to put an album together and you started?
No, I
I
just kept writing the songs, and then I think somewhere around there, I found I had so that Luke song, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I submitted that Luke chapter 23 song, the Blinded by the Light one, I submitted that to the International Songwriting Contest, and they happened to have a, what was it, social justice or social causes category, and I was a finalist in that category, so then I was like, okay, I guess there's something to this, and then if anybody was around, I don't know if you guys were around, like 2016, 17, 18, 19, 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24. If you guys have been around, there's a lot of material. So I just kept writing political songs, and I was actually getting really frustrated that I was doing it. I was like, God, I want to write a song that I can go play at a gig, I can't play any of these songs in the corner of like a pizza shop or whatever, and ruin everyone's dinner. So I was actually kind of resisting it a little for a while, and I kept trying to write songs that weren't social commentary, or I don't even really like to say political anymore. It's topical songs, maybe, I don't know.
That's a good way to say it.
But one of the other things that was important to me was I didn't, there's a lot of songwriters who will write a song about like a headline, and then like a week later that song is useless. You can't play it anymore. because it's like, you know, the news cycle has moved on and nobody cares about, like, I don't know, whatever the thing was that happened that isn't really relevant anymore, you know? And so I was always trying to, you know, I was like, okay, I'll write some topical songs, but I want to make sure that I can make them like relevant, you know, still. So I was always trying to figure out ways to write these songs that would stick around. And then I eventually kind of, especially more recently in the last few years, I'm like, whatever, man. I got like 30 political songs. I might as well just be a political songwriter. So now I mostly just nowadays. I mean, I'm sure I'll write a normal song again one day, but
I think that the talent to be able to write such poignant songs that make you feel the way they do. One of the things I like so much about Brandon's music is the little line. Well, I'm a big fan of lines and lines that just give you goosebumps. I say that all the time, but there's a few. Just your word choice is exactly what you probably were enamored by when you first started listening to John Prine.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge John Prine. Is anybody a John Prine fan here? Yeah. I play in a group called the Illegal Smiles, which is a John Prine tribute band. So if you haven't heard that band, you should come check it out sometime. But yeah, John Prine was like the closest thing I ever had to a songwriting teacher, I would say.
Oh, I think you're right up there doing justice to all these topics, man. It seems like it really connects with a lot of people. The word choice you use, and the way you put the songs together. I want to hear. Well, what's the song that you play the least off of that album that you maybe like? You
that I know. Yeah, there's a couple that I couldn't even pull off right now, just because I don't know. I haven't played them in a while, but there's 8 songs on the record.
So just so everybody knows, you just started to try to go out and put your own band together and start doing your thing on your own instead of backing up people all the time.
Yeah, I've been playing with my band like for 3 years probably, but we don't play very many shows. We'll be around though. We're playing at Sidecar later this summer in Batavia, and we'll be at we just did a show at Workforce Brewing last weekend. That was pretty cool.
Was it within the past few years that you played the first time by yourself? Or like acoustic guitar?
No, like acoustic guitar was, I think I started gigging on acoustic guitar like in 2017.
Okay, so right before the shut, so 3
Yeah,
years
and then I released the record during the pandemic. I recorded it at home, and it was like a self-recorded, self-mixed, self-master. Did everything at home because I still had a job at the time, but I was doing it, Natasha will vouch for me. I was basically working all day, and then I'd lock myself in the studio and work all night.
Good.
It was around the time of the Quarantunes. Actually, the Quarantunes were like the lead. I did a series called the Quarantunes during the pandemic where I was releasing a video every day of a song. And I was kind of trying to get the song, pick a song that was relevant, to the time. And that's kind of where Pete and I connected. We did, I put out a call for songs from all my friends online and said, hey, send me a video of you playing a song and I'm going to do whatever I want with it and then post a video. So Pete sent me that,
Ella Fitzgerald song, the When I Get Low, I Get High.
I Get High, yeah.
It's got this little run in there, yeah, bum, 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 bum. Yeah, and I always like playing that, and I sent it over to him, and not just guessing he was going to send you back a video with somebody playing some fiddle to your song, but he hit every note verbatim, and it was just so on that I never had a collaboration like that on the internet before, and that's what also made me so excited about your music.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a little bit of a community building thing for me too, and just keeping the, it was weird for musicians when you couldn't play for so long. So I think I did 65 videos, 65 days. I might have taken a couple days off in there, but then because I've been recording every day, you can't really sustain that for very long if every video is taking you 8 hours or whatever. So the challenge I was giving myself was like, I want to be able to get a video from somebody and do like 2 or 3 takes and have the take. I did everything in 1 take. That was the other thing that was interesting about that project was I couldn't overdub anything because I had to be on camera. So that was very frustrating when you play like a 3-minute song and like you have 2 minutes and 58 seconds of great playing and then you play a wrong note at 2 minutes and 59 seconds and you got to go back and do the whole thing again. And so yeah, I did that for a while, and then I kind of that really helped my chops, like studio chops, which is very different than playing live. It's when you're under the microphone like that, it's a really weird feeling. And then at the end of that process, I decided I'm just going to record all my songs, and so I had kind of the studio was all set up and everything, and I just sat down and recorded all my songs, and I actually mixed all my songs, I should say, because I had been in the process of recording them over the years. And I had already recorded drums and bass for them, which was really convenient because I couldn't have those guys over to record, so I happened to have the tracks already. I finally got down and finished all the songs and released it, and that was a big that was kind of a good milestone for me too. It feels good to get your first record out, and been writing a lot of songs, and then
to put it together like that. Yeah. What year was that?
I released it in 2020. Yeah, 4th of July 2020, right before the election.
That was, I think the cover of it looks like it's got somebody in an armchair.
Yeah, I drew that.
Yeah, he's an artist too. He wears so many hats. It's not even funny.
Yeah, when you're an independent artist, you kind of got to learn to do everything, you know.
Well, you can go kicking and screaming and just because I'm just saying you're a big inspiration for getting off your ass and doing what you can do with what you have. So when you first played the first gig by yourself in 2017 or something like that, acoustic, was it something that you were like kind of fell into, or did you want to go get
No,
a gig by yourself?
I wanted the challenge of like I think the first gig I played was a 4-hour gig at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And I just had like some songs that I've been working on, covers and stuff that I liked, and I was like, I'm just gonna try to do a 4-hour gig, and I was real nervous about the 4-hour gig. Like you gotta dig deep and get all your songs going, and I did that, and then I did an original. I think I did one original song at my first gig. And I was like, okay, I could do this, and then you kind of get your toe in the water, and then from there, now I think I got 2.5 hours of original songs that I could do, and so it's a cool experience though, just kind of the first acoustic gig, and then getting more and more comfortable with it, and now, like my first gig, I had a set list and everything, and the songs were in order, and like I had thought about it in advance. Now I don't. Now I'm more comfortable to just kind of like play whatever comes up, but.
Yeah. If I ever told you the first time that I had to play solo, my bass player got arrested on the way to meeting me at the show. And
so it was supposed to be a duo gig, and then it was solo?
And I had never played solo before. But yeah, that was the first time. We pulled up to his house, and the cops were like, Nick's not coming to any shows tonight.
Classic.
Yeah, it was a long night, but it was another 4-hour show, and it was the same thing. It was pretty.
And they were like, wait, I make twice as much money when I do this.
That was the best. Yeah, that was the silver lining.
That's awesome.
Before we take a quick break, I want to hear one more song from you.
What do you got in mind?
Well, I don't want to pick it. I kind of want you to pick it, but I'd like it to be an earlier song if you got one.
Earlier song. All right, I'll do one. I'll do another one I know Pete loves. I'm just thinking if I got any other better ones.
What song are you thinking about?
I was thinking about playing Brainwashed.
Well, that'd be a good one to hit the break with. So this is a song that Brandon wrote that's done a lot of good for me already, and it turns a lot of people on. And my nephew actually just told me this is his favorite song that I sing.
It's the first time anybody's ever covered my songs as well, which is Pete playing 2 of my songs on his sets. I play fiddle with Pete as well on a lot of shows, and it's kind of cool. It's a unique experience playing backup fiddle on your own song.
And you go, that's not how it goes.
No, that's my favorite part about it. Is I like how he makes it a Pete Jive song, So I do it a little different. Yours sounds like way more serious. I get the sarcastic edge in there. But this one's called Brainwash. This was.
Oh yeah, because I make it.
He makes it sound like heartfelt. I make it sound like a little bit more of like a middle finger or something.
Like I don't have very many songs that can like piss some people off, So I really want to make sure it does it. It's going to, and it does it,
Let it do it on its own. You don't have to add to it. Yeah, this one's called Brainwashed. It's not really that. I always like to say my dad and I don't see eye to eye politically, but he likes my songs.
So Brandon's gonna play Brainwashed. Then we're gonna take just a little pause for the cause, and then when we come back, Brandon's gonna tell us all about everything that's happening now, and he's gonna tell us all about.
New songs.
Yeah, he recorded music for a Super Bowl commercial and all kinds of good stuff. So we're gonna hear some fun stories.
All right, what's up? This one's called Brainwash. This is about, I remember scrolling through some news feeds, and you guys probably know what I'm talking about here, but it just feels like, everything was just ridiculous. It's still kind of ridiculous. But I was like, man, you see something from some guy that I met at a bar or something like 6 years ago. I don't even know the person, and he posts something about like the earth being flat or like, I don't know, whatever else, like all kinds of crazy stuff. And I was just like, this is nuts. So this one's called Brainwashed. And I like to say it's about how we're all a lot more alike than we are different. That's not what they want us to think.
like evil's on the rise. Don't know who to trust out there, it could be just another lie. But one man's trash is another one's new speed. And in times like these, it's the last thing that we need. I'm sure the secret government just wants us all confused about vaccinations, UFOs, and landing on the moon. False flags and chemical lags keep us from thinking for ourselves. And if you agree, then buddy, you might need some help. Brainwashing everybody into thinking everybody else is brainwashed. Brainwashing everybody into thinking everybody else is brainwashed. And there's just so many of the devil makes you wonder when he'll ever get caught. Brainwashing everybody into thinking everybody else is brainwashed. The Illuminati masterminds that can control my every move don't want me believing things that you don't have to prove. Or maybe it's the truth just ain't the truth anymore. They might win the fight, but they sure ain't won the war. Or brainwashing everybody into thinking everybody else is brainwashed. And we're all jumping off the track, you try to stop it, but you can't, the train's lost. And there's just so many of the devil makes you wonder when he'll ever get caught. Brainwashing everybody into thinking everybody else is brainwashed. How can I find a way to say what's on my mind? When I'm so overwhelmed, it's got me shaking half the time. Well, you tell me I can't trust what I can see with my own eyes. I know you're jonesing for another rush, so let me spell it out in black and white. Don't you know that everybody's just a cutting from the same cloth? And we're all jumping off the track and try to stop it, but you can't, the train's lost. And there's just so many, and the devil makes you wonder when he'll ever get caught. Brainwashing everybody into thinking everybody else is brainwashed. 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 Brainwashing everybody into thinking everybody else is brainwashed.
Thank y'all so much for being here. We'll come back right in a second, okay? Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for jiving around here with us. You know, I'm excited that I thought to tell you this, but so this show that I've been doing for you the past 4 months, I came up with the main idea for all of this with you in the car. And so I think was it you that suggested I wear the jacket?
Oh yeah.
So this is Brandon. So that's why I got such a big smile for this guy. Brandon, I gotta give you a gift. So I wanted to have a pipe, but I know that you smoke weed, so I wanted to give you that. You can put your atomizers in there, and it's like a little pipe for you. So you can have that.
Thank you.
Of course.
With the beat?
Sure, you keep that. Here, let me try it. Does it work? I just charged it for you.
I had one of those. I lost it.
You had one and you lost it?
Yeah.
It
They're
just made its way back to you.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thanks for being on Jive in the Round, buddy.
Thanks for jiving.
So
Jive safely.
make sure you jive safely.
I've been trying to push that slogan on him for his shows at the end of the show. You know, have you heard him say it? I'm like, this is gold, man. Jive safe.
So I'm telling you, most of this came from this student driving. and I think that was the second long car ride we took together. It was when I was.
We had a residency down in Bloomington, and we had 4 weeks of pretty much every type of extreme weather that you could have each week. It was like the 4 seasons.
We had 2 tornadoes.
Yeah, we got stuck in a Wally's bathroom.
Did you ever go to the Wally's? There's a great gas station called the Wally's on. They have multiple ones, but
Pontiac.
It's in Pontiac, Illinois, on 55, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever have a chance, you gotta stop at that gas station. They got damn good hot dogs. They make their own beef jerky and really roomy bathrooms.
Yeah, in case of tornado.
They made us go in the bathrooms for the tornado. Yeah. So
You know it's bad when the gas station's giving you free water bottles.
Yeah, I should have taken one. I don't know why I said no. You took one though. I want to hear another song from you, but I heard a request for a song that you wrote on this show that we've been doing here. I've mentioned it multiple times about different songwriter groups that people are a part of that helps them exercise their muscles and just keeps the ideas going. And there was one that we're mutually a part of where we had to come up with songs. I think this one was you had to come up with a song with a made up word
In the chorus.
and it was an important part of the song. And what did you come up with?
Well, I came up with this song.
What was the word that you came
Oh, it's
up
in
with?
the chorus. Can't give it away.
And you're not.
Yeah, no, it was a great, it was a great prompt, and I think I threw that prompt in the hat, by the way. The made-up word in the chorus, and I was like, this sounds like a fun prompt, and then I started writing, and I was like, there's tons of songs, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and what? What's the other one? The Chim Chimmery, Chim Chimmeroo, whatever. Yeah. And I found out all those songs, the made-up words, are all pretty much written by the same guy. He's got like 30 different songs that have a made-up word in the chorus. And I sat down to do it, and it was a lot harder than I was expecting. So I came up with this one. It's about dinosaurs. It's called The Worst Way We Could Go. This one I just got done recording. I'm just waiting on the guitar solo on it. And then I'll get this one out on Spotify too. It's The Worst Way We Could Go. About dinosaurs and existential dread. 65 million years ago, it seemed a lot like any other Tuesday. They were doing it right, all them dinosaurs. But even some of the good things gotta end. It started with the shadows and the creatures all stood still. A fireball came ripping from on high, and then 65 million years ago, no one ever saw another dinosaur again. Maybe we're just living through another dino-apocalypse. Maybe we're no different, every era's bound to blow. It's enough to make you vomit, 'cause it's looking like a comet. Might not be the worst way we could go. A global war, maybe global warming. But think about all the fun you had while it lasted. Now we're in store for the big encore when we go out the same way that everything in the past did. Or maybe there's still time for revolution. Say we find a better way to go, and then we'd survive and keep the world alive. And maybe one day learn to live like humans again. Instead, we're living through another dino-apocalypse. We try to do it different, guess we're no different. Every era's bound to blow. It's enough to make you vomit, 'cause it's looking like a comet. It might not be the worst way we could go. And ever since we climbed down from the treetops, we've been building up our towers so that we might touch the sky. Or maybe one day colonize some planet that's nice enough to live on
till we finally suck it dry. And now we're living through a man-made human apocalypse. We tried to do it different, but we wound up just the same. We won't even need to comment, cause we'll soon enough just bomb it. And in 100 million years, they'll give our bones some funny names. 65 million years of evolution, and I'm sitting on a Zoom call on a Tuesday. I look outside just to check the skies, wondering if today might be the day.
Thank you.
Another poignant social commentary from Brandon. I love it. So this was when. So now we're after the shutdown here.
Oh yeah, that was this year. I wrote that one this year, like last year. Yeah, October or so when we started that group.
Yeah, so you've been playing a lot with the Illegal Smiles, the John Prine cover band is a big one. When's your next gig with them?
We're gonna have Natasha check.
Sure, we'll fill you back in later before we go.
I think it's at Sidecar. We're playing at Sidecar for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
That'll be a good intimate show.
Yeah, definitely come to that one. And I think the other ones are down in I think we're gonna be down in like Bloomington or Urbana.
Okay.
We'll be down there. What is it? Toadstool Pub. That's pretty far north from here. That's up in Highwood, north side of Chicago. But I think the closest one here is Sidecar. What day is that? 7/26? 7/25. That'll be a fun one. 7-piece band, all John Prine.
Play us another song that's coming up.
Okay, let's see. Here's a. All right, this one I'll play another new song. We're gonna wade further into the waters here. But I wrote this song. I have a lot of respect for some of these online songwriters. There's a few of them. I don't know if you guys listen to people like Jesse Wells or there's a few others out there. Jordan Smart is another really good one. They do something I respect a lot, which is there will be something that happens in the news, and then they'll have a song posted about it that day or the next day. And so I always
that kind of
it's speed, it's the speed of writing and then having something coherent and relevant that ends up connecting to a lot of people. So it's something I've been wanting to try to do, and kind of treat the day as the prompt, and then what can I do with this day, you know what I mean? So this was the first time I've ever successfully had a less than 24-hour turnaround on a song that I felt good about. And this was on the day that the Pope died. And so I wrote a song called "The Pope Is Dead," and this is my headline news that I got this out that night. So I got it out online on the night of the day that the Pope died. So I was proud of that. But
see, I was just assumed you were one of those guys that could do that, and that was the first time.
I am now.
One out. Damn right you are.
Yeah, I mean it helps a lot when you don't have to go to work every day and you can sit around and think about songs.
Yeah, that was one thing I wanted to say. Yeah, I was trying to think of what I forgot, but that pipe got me there. Because got stunned and I missed it. You just recently left your day job, so you're full on, bare ass into the music business.
Living the dream.
And you were working for corporate kind of. You had a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And has it
10
been
to 3.
10 to 3? Has it been a nice transition for you?
It's great. Yeah. Got 5 hours of my day back.
I remember.
No, it was good. It was a good job. I've had some good jobs. They served their purpose. They helped me buy this guitar. But now I get to go play it.
Really proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
When you told me that you were gonna go for music full time and you had a little bit of nerves in your voice, I couldn't imagine. Just so many other, so much less prepared people have played music for a living.
It's scary though. It's scary. It's scary doing music because you don't have a steady check coming in, and especially when you're doing original music, the music economy is not built for. It's not built for original music at the level that. Until you get to a certain level, then you can make good money. I always like to say there's no middle class musicians. It's just you're broke or you're really making it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna make it work anyway. And Pete was a huge motivation too, to just stick with it and make it work. He's been doing it a long time, so he's a role model for me in that way. In his life of luxury.
I have 2 Pomeranians.
All right, so this one's called Pope is Dead. This is kind of I see this song as a little bit of like a continuation of that song, Luke chapter 23. I'm a recovering Catholic, and
If you don't know, Luke chapter 23 is the chapter where Jesus says, "Forgive them."
from the cross, yeah, he says, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do," which is in the song, hence the title, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a particularly religious person, which the song will make clear. But I have a lot of respect for the sort of the teachings, the human aspect of it. Maybe not as much the metaphysical aspect, but the human aspect of kindness and treating other people how you want to be treated, and caring for people that have it worse off than you and things like that. I've always had a soft spot for, and then that's where my frustration in that last song comes from, when I see the people who wear that very loudly around their neck and then go and do different things than that in the name of what they say they're doing it in. So this song to me was kind of my, if I shifted gears and put the pedal further to the metal of that last song, in a very different world. If that last one I wrote that last one in like 2016, and I wrote this one in 2025 on the day the Pope died. So it's a different world now. This is called Pope is Dead. Lord is risen. Oh, which, by the way, I'll just clarify. The Pope died the day after Easter, which is relevant for the song as well. It's kind of a heavy weekend for that side of the spectrum. The Lord is risen and the Pope is dead. And I've been thinking about what Jesus said, and what he'd think if he could hear what we're saying now. Guess I should be up front, 'cause I'm no Christian, but even I can tell that nobody's been listening for 2,000 years, and no sign they'll start listening now. Are we missing the message? Are we missing the mark? John, Luke, and Paul, should we give them a second look? Can we bring ourselves to look at all? With honor on the lips and a heart under the rubble, they sure like seeing us poor people struggle. Anything to satisfy their never-ending thirst for more. And if Christ came back for another go, well, he'd be on the side of a told you so, when they round him up again and send him down to El Salvador. Are we missing the message? Are we missing the mark? John, Luke, and Paul, should we give them a second look? Can we bring ourselves to look at all? Blessed are the masters of industries, denying every claim from the least of these, riding on a camel through a needle with a copay fee. Blessed is the Tao, yes, and blessed are its trades, and blessed are the shell games and insurance charades, and blessed are the people far too desperate and too busy to see. And blessed are the tax breaks for billionaires, mucking up the waters and the breathable air, climbing huddled masses, hoping one day maybe they could be kings. Sure, and trickle down works if it's war or it's depression, but we'll be hard pressed to ever learn that lesson, with just one bird flapping two broken corporate wings. Are we missing the message? Are we missing the marks? John Lennon and Paul, should we give them a second look? Can we bring ourselves to look at all? Begged us to listen, but we never did, because blessed are the bombs we keep dropping on kids. He was shouting into nothing with a point that always seems to get lost. I guess
something in the timing just hits a little funny. Living in the land of spoiled milk and money, while Bethlehem is burning like a savior on the Pharaoh's cross. Are we getting the message? Am I hitting the mark? John, Luke, and Paul, can you give me a second here? I'm just trying to make some sense of it all. Lord is risen, but God is dead. And I've been thinking about what Nietzsche said. Gazing into nothing feels like nothing's looking back at you. Yes, the Lord is risen and the Pope is dead. And I've been thinking about what Jesus did, and starting to feel like maybe we could flip some tables too.
I think you did it, yeah. Man.
Thank you.
All those lines in one,
Yeah, I'm like super ADD, so if I even like get a little off track in my lyrics, it's going downhill fast. There's a couple of close calls there.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I like the directions that a lot of them turn. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just it's a tightrope walk with memory, you know. Like if you lose that thread. But yeah, no, that's Pope is dead.
Yeah, and you memorized that one too. That was great. Is that going to be on the new album?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
Full?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Demons again.
That's what it's going to be
I
called?
think so. Don't tell anybody.
Have you drawn the art for it?
No, but I have a very, very clear picture of the art.
Okay.
I just need an artist, or I need to figure out time to do it. But yeah, we're getting there. We're making progress.
So I want to ask you about a couple things. One thing, so I know that you did a tribute for your buddy that was a really important person in your life, and I think this song is I haven't listened to it in a few months here, but I think it's going to hit me pretty hard. It's a great song for loss or for any kind of celebration like that.
Yeah, sure.
Tell us about your buddy.
Yeah, so I had one of my best friends passed away in February last year at 36. He was a friend of mine since middle school, and he was an amazing dude, Matt Bishop. He was a choir teacher out in West Dundee for 12 years. He taught there out of college, and he's a guy I grew up playing music with. He's a trombone player, and he was wearing tights with me in those choirs also. But it was a really tough loss for the community, and you know we knew when we found out the news, we knew it was going to be really hard on a lot of people to hear about it, and I didn't prepare myself for getting to his memorial service, and there was somewhere we didn't have an exact count, but there was somewhere between 5,000 and 7,500 people at the service, like just to give a kind of a scope of the lives he touched, and it was people were waiting in line for 2 hours wrapped around the church just to get in for the visitation. So really a testament to the impact he had on so many lives. But he was a great dude. He was he was a trombone player. He loved elephants his whole life. He was a really big guy. Just from a size standpoint, but then he had a lot of the other traits of elephants too. So I think he identified with them in a way. We had a senior trip that our choir went to New York. I wasn't on the trip, but he was out there, and he picked up this wooden elephant necklace that he then wore every day for the rest of his life, and he was wearing it at his funeral as well. So he really loved elephants, and then I found myself reflecting a lot. I gave the eulogy at his funeral, which was its own challenge and. But also catharsis to do that. To have time to sit down and write your thoughts out, and how do you summarize something like that? I think we gave a 17-minute eulogy,
Wow.
which was a really good experience in itself. And then the day after the funeral, we had our friends all in town, and we'd been going out and talking and crying and remembering and everything like that. And then that kind of like the tiredness kind of hits you like a wall after a weekend like that. And I sat down that Sunday, the day after the service, and had been kind of bouncing an idea for this concept of this song around in my head that whole week. And then I wrote the whole song that day on the Sunday, and then that song meant a lot to me. I posted it. It meant a lot to the community. And then I ended up getting invited to arrange the song for his choir, and we went and performed it at their May concert last year with his 8th graders. He was a middle school choir teacher. And then he was the kind of guy who it was go big or go home with him. You know, there was no going halfway. So I was like, I gotta do him justice, and I wanted to get a big studio version of this song together. So I ended up getting a full orchestra arrangement, doing a full orchestra arrangement with full strings and winds and brass and percussion, and got a lot of my friends to play parts, and then got some people who knew him to come in and play their parts on it. And then I ended up going in and having 70 of his former students sing on the track with me as well, so on the final chorus. So I'll play kind of the acoustic version now, but this one is on Spotify as well, and I would definitely love it if you go check it out. And it'll kind of gets to him talking about the orchestra stuff. I got to tap into some of my old skills there with the orchestra arrangement, and
it's something to hear with
the choir hits you like a ton of bricks at the end, so I can't replicate that here. But I did just release another version of the song just a few months. I kind of did a quiet release. I haven't really marketed it yet, but I did release the demo that I recorded the day after the funeral as well. So it's definitely like you kind of see the raw version, and then you can see the studio version as well. But it's called The Elephant in the Room. And this one's from my buddy Matt Bishop. Oh, and he played the trombone. There is a trombone solo in the song, which I'm going to just try to do with my mouth, but I'm not a great mouth trombonist. So you have to imagine a little bit. In the plains of Serengeti, where the rain did kiss the earth, from a journey all but over, there's a footprint in the dirt. His Majesty the elephant completes the ceaseless circle, and a herd across the ocean walks to morning through the herd. In a plain old music classroom, there's a harmony in endings, a thread pulled through creation like a bow across the strings. It's the same as any other, but there's something in it different, and as the lights are dimming, all the world will start to sing. Well, if you stay too long, you might find out what you're missing, and this place will sound so empty when you leave a bit too soon. The gentle giant lingers in the weight of time and memory, but everyone feels lighter when we talk about the elephant in the room. So the metaphor runs deeper than the well from which it sprung, when a life so full of living meets the setting of the sun. For the humble kind connected and the gentle strong, it's true, in the endings are beginnings when there's living left to do. 'Cause if you stay too long, you might find out what you're missing, and this place will sound so empty when you leave a bit too soon. The gentle giant lingers in the wave of time and memory, but everyone feels lighter when we talk about the elephant in the room. Forgotten in the hearts that carry you. And though it's just your footprints left to wander around the forest, they cleared the way for the little ones to find their own way too. And if you stay too long, you might find out what you're missing, and this place will sound so empty when you leave a bit too soon. The gentle giant lingers in the wave of time and memory, but everyone feels lighter when we talk about the elephant. And if you stay too long, you might find out what you're missing, and this place will sound so empty when you leave a bit too soon. The gentle giant lingers in the wave of time and memory, but everyone feels lighter when we talk about the elephant. And our
our friends will all be tighter when we laugh about the elephant, and things will just seem righter when we sing about the elephant. We can make the whole world brighter if we try to be the elephant in the room.
Thanks for that, Bishop.
I appreciate the way you put those feelings to a song. Good job. And so you released that as the single and everything, and so that's just going to stand alone like that. Are you printing any more physical copies of it?
Vinyl, yeah, I'll probably do a vinyl soon. It's been a long project. I wrote the song over a year, probably a year and a half ago. He passed away in February 2024, so, but I didn't get the record out until February 2025 on the anniversary. I released it on the 1 year anniversary of his passing, and then and I have like artwork for a vinyl. I just gotta get it going.
Yeah, it's great art, and I think if you're like I am and you like to think about people and stuff, it's nice that you got to spread it out and
Oh, it was really
get the
cool.
most out of it.
It was meaningful that it meant a lot to a lot of his students and the families, and just got a lot of positive feedback on the song, and they're listening to it. So that's what matters to me. Is I feel like I think the track did him justice as best I could. Like the only thing I wish I could send it to him.
Oh man. And that's there's 70 kids singing on that song.
Yeah.
That's the first. Kid voices really bug me, especially on songs, and there's one, that Pink Floyd song, It's Okay, and then your song, it gave me goosebumps on yours, so that's up.
That's the reference track I sent to the mixer too.
What?
Brick in the Wall.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He sent me the track, and the choir sounded like beautiful and like mixed real nice into the background. I was like, no, man, those kids are like pop them out way in the front, like that's the whole thing,
Maybe that's why it usually sounds creepy, is because they're kind of like
washed into the background.
Yeah.
No, I know they come in, and I was like, I want the kids singing to sound more like a snare drum than a choir.
It's a good note that you made, yeah, because it came across. Okay, so one of the bands you've been playing with most recently, filling in for, was the Way Down Wanderers, right? And we had Austin was our first guest here on the Jive and Around, so he was a guinea pig for a lot of your ideas. I think I followed your. We made a list, a rundown how to do the show, and I think I followed it to a T. So I made him sit through some uncomfortable stuff.
He deserved it.
And so I know when you're on tour with them, you had an opportunity recently to do something different, make songs, work on music for for commercials. Right?
Yeah.
So how what kind of experience was that compared to anything you've done before?
It's awesome. Yeah. So I got to do the drummer for the Way Down Wanderers. He's real involved in ad work, which is really cool. Cool that I happened to be in the right spot at the right time for him to get a call that said, I need a commercial music tonight, and if it goes well, you guys will have a commercial in the Super Bowl. So we did it, and then we ended up doing 7 spots and had a commercial in the Super Bowl this year. So it was pretty cool. And I got to do all the string arrangements and strings for it. So. If anybody watches the Super Bowl, it was the GoDaddy commercial with Walton Goggins, which just won an award this week, by the way.
The
commercial did, yeah. So that was pretty cool too. But yeah, it was an awesome experience. John is super talented, so it was cool to watch him work, and then just when you're working in the commercial world, you're working on 30 seconds of music. You don't have any spare minutes or seconds.
Yeah. Right.
Everything has to count. So. It's real magnified, and you're zooming in on every little tiny detail and making sure everything fits, and then you go through 27 rounds of corporate iteration with the marketing team that's not musicians, maybe, but it was a really cool experience. They had a really good vision for the ad, and they knew what they wanted. And then we got to do all the prep. We got to do like the lead-in campaign and the kind of post-Super Bowl campaign as well. So I don't know. I can't escape this commercial, the GoDaddy Arrow commercial, if anybody's seen it. I feel like I just like am playing gigs and it comes on the TV, and then I'm like sitting on my phone and I see 15 ads for it. So either I'm targeted because I liked one post that I was like, yeah, that's that I did. And now they think I want GoDaddy Arrow. But yeah, it was a really cool experience, and hoping to do some more.
Yeah, I hope so. Fucking A, man. Just get back in that band. I'd just be hanging around John all the time. Do you want to share anything else from your new album, or are you trying to hide anything?
No, I'll play anything. Yeah, I was gonna play. I gotta for sure.
Yeah. So do you want to go the same step as the Pope is Dead song?
Yeah. I'll do I'll kind of
go.
go in order of that I wrote them. So this next one I wrote the next week. I've been on a writing kick. I've been fortunate. I've been writing a song right now about every week, maybe every 2 weeks, and I kind of been cranking out a song, and then I spend about a week editing it, and then I've been trying to post them. Been trying to play the TikTok game a little bit, but TikTok, the average scroll time on TikTok is about 1.7 seconds, so you got to really hook them. I just released a 4-second song today. It just goes, I wrote this song to fit before you scroll, and then that's the new song.
It's a great angle. When did you put it out?
Well, yeah, I did, but it just posted on the way over to the show, and I think it got shadow banned because it's too short. So like, there's definitely a sweet spot. If you post a full song, they're like, this is way too long, and then you post a 4-second video, they're like, this is way too short. So, what is it?
5.7.
That's the sweet spot. That sounds like somebody who knows marketing.
Remember that? Yeah.
I gotta add 1.7 seconds and post it again.
I was
tomorrow.
gonna say, what if you just?
Well, it was 4 seconds already. I need to get 1.7 more seconds.
No, what if you don't say anything and you make like a face or something?
They're gone, man.
No,
Fastest thumb in the West.
No, but that's how you hook them though. But you do a funny face or you put a hat on or something. You do something to.
You got it?
Yeah. So I was thinking something visual. So I was trying to think of what.
Oh, you can game that system all you want. People's attention span is.
Oh.
A bird?
A bird or a garden, like hummingbirds, people love it.
Okay.
I love birds, man.
I can do that. We got a lot of birds, yeah.
Go get out in the garden.
But this song I wrote right after the week after the Pope is Dead song, and I had gotten into a little bit of a friendly disagreement with my dad when my sister was in town, and we got to talking, and I just left kind of feeling a little confused because of the values that I grew up with, and then what the discussion was about. I was like, that doesn't sound right, doesn't sit right to me. So I wrote this song. And I did send it to my dad immediately before posting it, and he laughed. So that made me think I could play it publicly. This one's called "My Commie Son." I'll try to get through the lyrics. Yeah, I'm sure you'll forgive me if I have a glitch. These are very new, very verbose songs. So this is sung from the perspective of the dad. I am just a farmer, a mere worker of the world. Got myself some lovely kids, 2 boys and a couple of girls. 3 are off and married, all good Christians through and through. But I'm afraid the other one has found a different view. I think my son's a communist, boys, where did I go wrong? He's reading comic books and keeps on writing commie songs. He says that life ain't something you should have to earn to live. To each what they need and from each what they can give. I raised him right, but he turned left as Marx and Mao. Yes, I tried to raise a patriot, but he's a commie now. He thinks healthcare is a human right, no need for plans or bills. When I ask who's gonna pay for that, he says the people will. We the people pay it now, and the price keeps growing taller, while the greedy rich all circle up for their piece of the dollar. And the profits won't incentivize true healthcare or a cure, when it's focused on the ROI and the bottom lines they blur. Doctors earn a modest wage, at least for how much life they save. But if your claim won't serve dividends, you're headed for the grave. I raised him right, but he turned left as Marx and Mao. Yes, I tried to raise a patriot, but he's a commie now. He's traded in his red hat for a sickle and a hammer. And when he asks me what I think, I feel sick and I start to stammer. I brushed up on my talking points, but he always has an answer. So I waltz around his questions like some brown shirt tiny dancer. I pledge allegiance to the flag and every last war crime, but I hope the public understands that history does rhyme. Remember what those pinkos did to Adolf and his crew. If we
let them go for too long, well, they're bound to come for you. I raised him right, but he turned left his marks and Mao. Yes, I tried to raise a patriot, but he's a commie now. He's talking about free Palestine, I say nothing's for free. And fed him so much Fox News, it's burned on my TV. He's read up on his theory sense and the Constitution too. And if you ever talk to him, he'll say he fights for you. I raised him right, but he turned left his marks and Mao. Yes, I tried to raise a patriot, but he's a commie now. I raised him right, and now he's seeking common ground. Well, I hate to turn my own son in, but he's a commie now.
Thank you. I've been really into Phil Oakes. I don't know if you guys ever listened to Phil Oakes, but he's a great songwriter from the 60s and 70s, and definitely took some tips from him on kind of the character.
I'm gonna have
right
to check
there.
him out.
Oh, it's great, man.
Any album that you recommend?
Yeah, just listen to all of them. Listen to his live shows. Yeah, they're great.
I was gonna ask you.
OCHS it's Oakes.
Oh, OCHS?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to
Maybe
tell
they have
me
a
that
record
later.
here. I don't know. Doubt it. He's like if you took Pete Seeger and then radicalized him.
Let's see. I wanna. You got one more?
One more. Yeah, I'll push it one further if you guys are cool with that. Is that up your alley enough? All right. This one's silly. This one, when you're losing your mind, you write songs that reflect that. So this one came from a chorus melody that I wrote. I just had this melody pop in my head. I'm like, man, I think I got something here. I have no idea if anybody's gonna get it or not. But this one's called the government microphone. Maybe parentheses in my pocket. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I like that. I like
You know this one, right?
Yeah.
All right, bear with me on this one. This is about living in a surveillance state and ultimately not really caring.
Thanks a lot for coming out and being here with us,
Oh,
Brandon.
love it. You guys rock. How about a hand for Pete Jive? Chicago music treasure. All right, here's a government microphone.
I've been in the market for a new TV, though I've only told a couple close friends. Lately it's been seeming every ad I see knows I'm looking for a new one again. Cameras everywhere staring down from above, my every move's a database. Well, I got to thinking maybe I should shut up. It's feeling risky just to show my face. You can feel the pressure going up. Lately everybody's acting on edge, but we're lucky to be free in America, just like we promised every day in the pledge. So I called up my representatives to fill them in about my concern. And after sitting through the script and talking points, there's one thing that I learned. If the government microphone in my pocket is listening to this song, well, there's no better way for them to hear me say all the things I think they're doing wrong. You can buy a politician for the highest bid in a democracy that isn't fair. When we the people stands for corporate citizens, buried in the pockets of the billionaires, and payrolls goals to keep us living enough to clock in for one more day. Ain't it funny? It always trickles right back up with all these trickle-down bills to pay. So if the government microphone in my pocket is listening to this song, well, there's no better way for them to hear me say all the things I think they're doing wrong. Dehumanizing immigrants and homeless folks, my disabled and queer friends too, with propaganda looking for a fire to stoke. Whoa, discover the truth that all oppressive forces are inherent to the hunger of a capital class. And every other issue is a consequence of a system built to put us last. So we get genocide, wealth divide, and militarized police, and subsidies for colonies, and every greedy Wall Street freak. And not to mention occupation of every worker's every waking breath. If you don't kill yourself from working, you're gonna work your ass to death. Let's take another minute for the genocide, where we're pouring all our billions galore. The war machine erased its own indigenous, and now it's shipping that job offshore. So we'll keep sending weapons while they're starving kids and cementing up the drinking well. More outraged about my outrage than this war crime carousel. And if you're tired of the images of kids on fire, you can watch the whole planet burn. Yes, that's the problem with the boomerang. Pretty soon it's gonna be our turn. So don't worry if your gadget's always listening in, when revolution is the option you see. As long as we got their attention, it's time for mic check 1, 2, 3. Is this thing on? In the government microphone in my pocket is listening to this song. Well, there's no better way for them to hear me say, if you wanna, you can sing along. We're singing la da la da da la da, from every river to every sea. Us all if we stand up tall to make the world a better place to be. Thanks. I realized it mid genocide verse. That's a world premiere, so thank you for listening. A world in-person premiere. Believe it or not, there's not a lot of bars you can play that song at.
Hold it up. You want to play some fiddle?
Sure.
I want you guys to hear him play fiddle for a second before we go. Anything you want to play, I want you to call it.
I mean, you can do, get stoned. When I get high.
When I get low? Or what?
When I get low.
What do you say, when I get stoned?
Or when I get low? No, I was thinking when I get low. Thank you all for hanging out and listening to my songs and supporting Pete.
Thanks for being on the show, Brandon. How did you have a good time? How did you feel like it went?
It's great.
Don't lie.
It's great.
It was good. The flow was okay.
He's a great interview. I always tell Pete he's a great hype man. He makes you feel good.
I aim to do that. So this is a song that I sent Brandon for our in 2020 when we did the collaboration on the internet.
Did you need it?
Oh no, you're not getting anything? It's coming out, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's out there. I can hear. Oh.
I mean, I'm not getting signal on my end here, so hang on. Oh, it was me. There you go. Cool.
I'm not gonna holler. I say I'm dollar. Oh, when I get low. recording of this one?
I was gonna say I played probably like 8 shows with Pete, and then before I realized this wasn't his song. But I think isn't there some kind of agreement with the guy now that it's your song now?
I get to record it, yeah. And he's
I know
not
there's a story.
charging me.
There's a story of somebody coming up to Pete after a show and saying, "I know that's a Griffin House song, but I like your version better." Me too. No offense, Griffin.
Grandfather fought in World War II. Uncle fought in Nam. My father was too young. He went to work and met my mom. He used to tell us these war stories dinner time. Oh, there's one he spoke that sticks out in my mind. He said, 10 years after Daddy talked about the birds and bees, he was stranded in Pearl Harbor, fighting off those Japanese. Kamikaze pilots came, dove in without warning. He was on the Arizona on that warm December morning, and I remember when I was a younger man, we were soldiers fighting in a foreign land. Now I'm older, and it's happening again. Lord, it was hard to forgive the things they did that day. Truman decided he's gonna make their people pay. Dropped on Nagasaki, yeah, we put them down beside ones we left on Hiroshima, just vaporized. And I heard this Christian boy say, what would Jesus do? Well, if you were on the wrong side, would they point their gun at you? Printer every word, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John, just to see it killing. The side that Christ is on. And I remember when I was a younger man, we were soldiers fighting in a foreign land. Now I'm older, and it's happening again. Lord, go ahead. I see them separate church and state, keep God out of school. Yeah, so the government can educate based upon their rule. But when people start to wonder, do our politics make sense? Religion is our best excuse for national defense. The people out in the streets say war is not okay, but the government keeps telling us God loves the USA. Oh, they teach us our history to learn from our mistakes. This generation's dying to know how many years it's gonna take till we can love our friends and neighbors all across the land. If we don't change our hearts, we'll repeat the past again. Grandfather finished talking, he went walking in. I kept thinking about the future, how scared I am to die. Thinking about my friend, he's still overseas where it's dry. Fighting for our country, I know he would love a reason why. 'Cause I remember when I was a younger man, we were soldiers fighting in a foreign land. Now I'm older, and it's happening again. Lord, look it, we're all older. Will God bring 'em home again? Brandon Reisdorf, everybody, thank you so much for coming tonight. Beautiful. So when's your next gig that everybody can come see you play? When are you doing your stuff? You got a showcase that you're doing of your own, right?
Well, I'll be playing tomorrow in Mount Greenwood. That's probably a small hike from here, but I play with a band called Coyote Ride tomorrow. And,
Where can they find your gigs usually, like listed?
BrandonReisdorf.com.
There you go.
I try to keep it sort of updated. But yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook.
The TikTok. That's a new one. It's just.
You get something a little different on every platform. So.
Is it all just Brandon Reisdorf?
Yeah, everything's just Brandon Reisdorf.
TikTok's the political one?
They're all a little political.
Well, thank you so much for being
Thanks for
here
having
tonight.
me, Pete. This was awesome.
Great to see you. Okay, everybody, just jive safely and, hope we get the jive back around here next time. We'll see you soon. Thank you.